And because the audience is multilingual, I will present the poet in English, but I will render his poetry in Hindi. So let me start and read on one of my favorite poets. Okay. Ramdhari Singh Dinkar was born in 1908 into a peasant family in a village of Bihar. The natural surroundings, simple lifestyle, and the fragrance of the soil, made early impressions on his mind and was reflected later in his poetry. He was an eminent Indian poet who used the power of his words very effectively during India's fight for freedom. And more than anything, I would say he influenced the collective consciousness of the nation. This is a very rare feat. He was famous for his poems that were based on the Veer Rasa. He was, like I said, from a peasant family in Bihar, and I just said that it was very creditable that, he influenced the collective consciousness of the nation as a patriotic poet. And this was because all his patriotic poems were based, even a lot of his other poetry was based on the Veer Rasa, the bhav, the emotion that showcased both heroism and courage. So this earned him the title of Rashtriya Kavi or national poet. Now, like many others who have grown up reading Dinkar's poems, I too find him not just patriotic, but extremely inspiring. His verse was in sync with the voice of the common man. His themes were those that went beyond borders. They were appealing and they were very universal. Themes of fortitude, of courage in daily life, strength in times of trial, hope, and of course, patriotism motivated his fans and followers across the nation and beyond as well. He was largely influenced by the writings of Iqbal, of Keats, of Milton, and of course, Tagore. His work brought him numerous accolades like the Gyanpith Award, Padma Bhushan, and Sahitya Akademi Award, among others. He served as a member of the Rajya Sabha and was also Hindi advisor to the government of India. The former Prime Minister of India, Vajpayee ji, himself an exceptional poet, praised Dinkar's original thinking and dexterity of both prose and poetry that made him famous, not only in India, but on the global literary stage as well. Here was a worthy writer who never compromised on his ethics. He never compromised on his political views and proudly upheld the dignity of Indian literature. We salute him for this. When he passed away in 1974, he left behind a rich legacy of not just poetry, essays, and a large body of literary work that includes masterpieces like Rashmi Rathi, we all know of that, Krishna Ki Chetavni, Urvashi, and epic poem Hunkar. But there were echoes of courage in the hearts of readers who still revere him as one of the most inspiring poets of India. And that is why I've picked up his inspiring patriotic as well as other poems that I think will appeal to everybody sitting here in the audience and which actually appealed to me ever since I was a child and while growing up. Chingari abhang rahe, he says. It means let your spark, your inner light remain flawless and continuous. And when obstacles come your way, overcome them with courage. And this is a very, very relentless and a very common theme in most of his poetry, where he talks about the fortitude and the courage of man. And that is why I admire him. On a short poem on the theme of strength has been translated very well by Ravi Kopra into English. The truth. In strength lies mercy. Your peace talks worthy only if you have the strength to victory. Tolerance, pardon, mercy. people will listen to only if your backdrop is shining and your victory unequivocal. You are only the strength that comes is then comes only when you are admired, not just for your strength but the compassion and the softer qualities that make you into a strong individual. Is not just about raising your voice. No, it's about raising your words, your standard, your compassion, your mercy, and then the strength comes and you're admired by the world. It's a lovely short poem. Now I think it's impossible to speak about this great poet without rendering and analyzing one of his most loved poems called Veer. The central idea here is again of courage and of the strength that a man shows when he faces obstacles and the manner in which he surmounts them. This is a true definition of a warrior. Not just the brave hearts fighting for independence, not just the COVID warriors, the frontline or border soldiers, or the medical fraternity fighters. This relates to the warrior or the brave hero that is ever present or should be present in every single individual who wants to overcome mortality. So I'll just read a few stanzas from this beautiful poem, Veer. सच है विपत्ति जब आती है कायर को ही दहलाती है सुरमा नहीं विचलित होते क्षण एक नहीं धीरज खोते विघ्नों को गले लगाते हैं कांटों में राह बनाते हैं मुंह से न कभी उफ कहते हैं संकट का चरण न रहते कहते हैं जो आ पड़ता सब सहते हैं उयोग निरत नित रहते हैं है कौन विघ्न ऐसा जग में टिक सके आदमी के मग में मानव जब जोर लगाता है पत्थर पानी बन जाता है मानव जब जोर लगाता है पत्थर पानी बन जाता है गुण एक में बढ़कर एक प्रखर है छिपे मानव के भीतर मेहंदी में जैसी लाली हो वर्तिका बीच उजियाली हो बत्ती जो नहीं जलाता है रोशनी नहीं वे पाता है बत्ती जो नहीं जलाता है रोशनी वो नहीं पाता है सो एन ऑफ कोटेड लाइन मानव जब जोर लगाता है पत्थर भी पानी बन जाता है वंडरफुल वंडरफul metaphor. When you push, when you crush a boulder metaphorically, mentally, physically, with all your strength, your might and determination, it becomes water in your hands. Such a wonderful metaphor, and you achieve the impossible. So now, 3 years ago on India's Independence Day, the Poetry Society of India organized a wonderful program, and I presented Ramdhari Singh Dinkar's wonderful, again, extremely inspiring poem, Asha Ka Deepak. This exhorts and challenges every single Indian to reach his goal and never tire in his efforts to do so. So I think you've heard me speaking live for quite some time. So if I can just request Prasanna, please to play the video. So you can just hear this poem, in a video form.
Today I am uplifted by hope and I recite for you Ramdhari Singh Dinkar's Asha Ka Deepak. ये प्रदीप जो दिख रहा है झिलमिल दूर नहीं है थक कर बैठ गए क्या भाई मंजिल दूर नहीं है चिंगारी बन गई लहू की बूंद गिरी जो पग से चमक रहे पीछे मुड़ देखो चरण चिन्ह जगमग से बाकी होश तभी तक जब तक जलता तूर नहीं है बाकी होश तभी तक जब तक जलता तूर नहीं है थक कर बैठ गए क्या भाई मंजिल दूर नहीं है अपनी हड्डी की मशाल से हृदय चीरते तम का सारी रात चले तुम दुख झेलते कुलिश निर्मम का। एक खेप है शेष किसी विद पार उसे कर जाओ, वह देखो उस पार चमकता है मंदिर प्रियतम का। आकर इतना पास फिरे वह सच्चा शूर नहीं है, आकर इतना पास फिरे वह सच्चा शूर नहीं है। थक कर बैठ गए क्या भाई, मंजिल दूर नहीं है। थक कर बैठ गए क्या भाई, मंजिल दूर नहीं है। दिशा दीप्त हो उठी प्राप्त कर पुण्य प्रकाश तुम्हारा, लिखा जा चुका अनल अक्षरों में इतिहास तुम्हारा। जिस मिट्टी ने लहू पिया वह फूल खिलाएगी ही, जिस मिट्टी ने लहू पिया वह फूल खिलाएगी ही। अंबर पर घन बन छाएगा ही उच्छ्वास तुम्हारा। और अधिक ले जांच देवता इतना क्रूर नहीं है, और अधिक ले जांच देवता इतना क्रूर नहीं है। थक कर बैठ गए क्या भाई, मंजिल दूर नहीं है। थक कर बैठ गए क्या भाई, मंजिल दूर नहीं है। मंजिल दूर नहीं है। वंदे मातरम।
Thank you so much. So this was Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. Uh, Manzil dur nahi hai. You know your destination, your dream destination, your goal is never far. So do not tire. Do not ever give up, says the poet. And I truly believe in him. Thank you so much for your kind attention.